Hello guys, you're welcome to this video tutorial. This is David Gladness. On today's tutorial, I'm going to teach you on how you can design this particular church flyer making use of your Canva app alone. Alright, basically I dropped the tutorial on how you can design this making use of the Pixel app, which I actually got requests from a good number of people requesting for how they can replicate this particular design making use of the Canva app. Alright, so if you need the Pixel app tutorial, you can check the description box below to get the Pixel app tutorial. Alright, without further ado, let's proceed with the tutorial. Alright, so here is my Canva app. Here is my Canva app right here. Alright, so the first thing we are going to do now is to set our workspace, the size of our workspace. To do that, just tap on plus. Now the size, you click on custom size. The size we are going to use is going to be the Instagram poster size, which is 1080 by 1080, and it should be in pixel 1080 by 1080 in pixel. Then click on create new design. All right, so when you click on create new design, it's going to take it, allow it to load so that it can give you your workspace. Alright, now what we want to do now is to import the first design resources we are going to need. Please, all the design resources you are going to need for this particular design is already provided in the description box below. You can check the description box below for it. And secondly, I would like you to know that I am using the Canva Pro, so my own Canva can be a little bit different from your own. You can still use the idea to design your own as well. Alright, so now the first thing we want to import is going to be the first background. We want to create a little bit of background manipulation. So tap on this plus. Since I already uploaded my design resources, I'm just going to click on this upload right here, uploads. Then it's going to show the list of resources or images I have imported before. So this is what I want to work with. Alright, so I'm just going to increase the size to fill up the workspace. And as I've said earlier, the resources you are going to need for this design is going to be provided for you in the description box below. So you can check the description box to get the resources. Alright, as you can see, I think this is perfect. So I'll go to my transparency, then reduce the transparency a little bit. Oh, first, I would like to work on the background. I want to use a black color for my background. So tap on the background and change the background color itself to black. Change the background color to black. You can see the effects. So yeah, I think this is perfect. So I'm going to reduce the transparency a little bit more. I'll reduce it to like, I think 50. Okay, 60 is a good number. 60 is a good number. All right, so the next thing we are going to do is to import the second resources, the second background. So tap on plus again. Now this is the second resources we are going to need. Now I'm going to increase the size as well. So increase the size of it as well to fill up your workspace and position it well. Yeah, I think this, let me increase it a little bit more. Yeah, I think this is perfect. Yeah, this is okay. Now we'll go to adjust. Click on adjust. Then we want to reduce the brightness. We want to reduce the brightness a little bit because we don't want it to be too bright. Because the theme of our the flyer we are about to design is 3 nights of praise. So I'm reducing the brightness due to the theme and the contrast, because I'll be making use of white color for my text and most of the things on this design. So if it is too bright, the contrast will not be okay. So I'll just go to transparency as well, then reduce the transparency because I want it to show you can see that yellow stuff, the first background. I want it to have a touch of that yellow background. So when you create your own background this way, it is called background manipulation, though this is not really serious. The background manipulation here is not really serious. Yeah, I think we can leave this at 70. This is perfect. Alright, so tap on anywhere on the outer screen of your workspace. And as you can see, the manipulation is gone. Just tap on the undo button you can see at the top left corner and it will be back. Alright, now the next thing we are going to do is to import our church logo. So tap on plus. Mine is under upload. Please mind you, if you are looking for yours, since it was downloaded, you are going to click on gallery to look for it under your gallery. But then mine is under upload already, so no need of me looking for it under my gallery. So this is the church logo I'm using. So I'm going to reduce the size and position it at the middle. I'm going to reduce the size and position it at the middle. Yeah, this is perfect. Now the name of the church, I want to bring in a text to type in the name of the church. I would like to reduce the size of this a little bit and make use of the nudge button to position it. Alright, so the next thing we are going to do now is to bring in a text. So tap on plus, go to your text 2. Alright, so from the text 2, click on add a subheading. Now edit the text, click on edit, clear up the default text and input the name of the church you would like to use. I'm just going to use the Apostolic Church Nigeria. Then in brackets, I'm going to input CACN. That is the Apostolic Church Nigeria. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is to change the color, the text color to white. So you can change it to a white color. Alright, now we are going to change the font we want to use. Alright, I think this font is actually okay. No need of us changing it. But then we'll go to spacing. Go to spacing and reduce the line spacing because we don't want the gap to be too much. Reduce the line spacing. Alright, I think this is okay. So that to bring those texts together, then reduce the size of your text itself. And then use the nudge button to position it at the middle. Please always make sure your work is aligned. When it is showing you those lines, it is mean it is now at the middle. Now let's check it out. Yeah, I think this is actually perfect. But then I feel like increasing the name of the church a little bit, just a little. Yeah, I think this is okay. This is okay. Now the next thing we are going to do is to bring in another text. Tap on plus, then click on add a heading. Alright, so click on edit. The theme of this particular design is 3 nights of praise and worship. So we want to work on the theme. So click just edit the text and input 3 nights of. Yeah, I think this is okay. Now click on FF font. The font we want to use is called Lagos pattern. So this is the font right here. You can search for it directly, though you can just search for the name of the font from here. So we are going to effects, click on effect, then click on shadows and click on the shadows again. Now we want to work on the shadow color first. So click on colors to change it to black color. You can see that. So go back. Now let's work on the blur radius. Let's make use of 10 for blur radius. Alright, so the direction, once the direction of the shadow should be at the back, should be at the back of the text, not in the front. So work on the direction. Okay, we can move this to, let's say, 100. I think 100 is a good number. Then let's work on the offset as well. We don't want it to be too obvious. Yeah, I think we can leave this at 30. 30 is a good number. Yeah, this is actually perfect. Then reduce, scroll down and reduce the size of your text. Then position it at the middle as well. Make sure your work is always aligned as much as possible. Alright, I think this is actually perfect. Yeah, this is okay. Now the next thing we're going to do is to, I feel like I'm bringing this down a little bit. Yeah, so the next thing we are going to do now is to bring in another text. We want to bring in the praise text, but then we are going to bring this in one by one. So tap on plus, click on add a heading, then edit it and input just P. Alright, then change the font. Go to your FF font. The font we will be using here is Anton font. So You can search for it. You can actually search for it, or you should just scroll down. This is it right here. You can scroll down and look for it under here. You can see Anton. Then when you change it, bring it down a little. Now increase the size a little bit. Increase the size a little bit. Now we want to work on this particular text. We want to work on it. So go to Effects and give it a shadow. Go to Effects, click on Shadows, edit the shadow, change the shadow color to a black color. Alright. Then we want to work on the offset and the directions. So let's leave the direction on at, I think 90 is a good number. Then the offset should be on 60. Then we want to increase the blur radius a little. This is too much. Increase the blur radius to just 10. 10 is enough. Then the transparency of your shadow, reduce the transparency to about 15. I think 15 is a good number. Then scroll down. So let's check this out. Yeah, I think this is perfect. So now we are going to duplicate this particular text. We are going to duplicate it. You can see that. Now edit it and input R. Click on edit, then input R in capital letters. Duplicate it again and keep on repeating this till we are done typing the word praise. You can see that. So just please don't tamper with the size. Just keep on duplicating and positioning. Duplicate and position. Duplicate and position, okay? So let's duplicate till I'm going to duplicate this till I get to the last word, the last letter rather. I'm going to duplicate this again. Edit. I think S. Duplicate it again. Then I'm going to input E. And as you can see, we have been able to work with it. We have been able to type in the text. Now we want to work with the nudge button. Tap on your text, go to nudge, then go to nudge, then position it in such a way that there will be enough space. First, because of the size, let me move this to around this place. Then work on this as well. You can see that. Do the same thing for the rest of the text in such a way that the shadows are going to be reflecting on the text behind, beside them. I hope you understand what I'm trying to explain there. Alright, anytime something like this happens, just click on the undo button to bring back your effects. Alright, you can see that. Yeah, this is perfect. This is really perfect. Our design is already taking shape. Alright, this is okay. Now the next thing we are going to do is to go to select multiple. Go to more, then click on select multiple. So select all the text. After clicking on more, select all the text at the same time. Then you can now reduce the size together and position them together. You can see that. So increase the size in such a way that it is going to, the P is going to start from the 3 nights and the E is going to stop on the off. I hope you understand what I'm trying to explain there. Then move it up a little. If you are finding it hard to move, you can go to your nudge button. Go to the nudge button to move it. You can see that you'll be able to select everything together and move them together. Yeah, this is perfect. Now the next thing we are going to do is to bring in a shape. The next thing we want to do now is to bring in a shape. But then I feel like moving these things up a little. I feel like moving all the text and everything up a little. So including the 3 nights off. So I want to tap on more, then select multiple, and then we are going to make sure we select everything like we did the first time. First, let's move this down a bit, then select this as well. Alright, So we are going to move them up. You can see that I've been able to move that 3 nights off itself. Then I will deselect the 3 nights off, then move only the praise. You can see that. So the next thing I want to do is I want to give space because the space is not enough. So to select it now, it will be add. So tap on any of the layers, then go to layers. I will go to my layer, then click on the 3 nights off. Just scroll down to look for the 3 nights off from here. Then scroll down. Now I will go to my nudge button to bring it down a little bit. Okay, I feel like bringing it down more. Yeah. Then now I can select multiple, go to more, select multiple, and then adjust them. Go to your nudge. Don't give the space between the 3 nights because those texts are actually together. 3 nights of praise and worship. So the space here is not really needed. The space between them is not really needed because the sentences are together. We're just trying to beautify it. Yeah, I think this is okay. Now the next thing we're going to do is to bring in a shape. Now basically, if you are not using the Canva Pro, you might find this aspect a little bit hard. If you need the Canva Pro, you can click on the link in the description box below. I'm going to leave a link there that will direct you to a Canva Pro vendor where you can get the Canva Pro for almost free. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do now is to tap on the plus, then click on elements and bring in a shape. Actually, we want to bring in a shape. Now, if you are not using the Canva Pro, this method I'm about to show you is for you. But then if you have checked the original design I dropped, okay, let me go to the design again. Alright, as you can see the little effects. You can see the effect that was used on this particular shape. This particular design was created with the Pixel Lab. This design was created with the Pixel Lab. You can see that particular effect I used on the shape. If you are trying to create it, you need the Canva Pro or you just use the method I'm about to show you. So now, basically, if you can't go through the stress, you can just make use of a regular shape, give it a yellow color, increase the shape, the size of the shape, increase the weight, adjust it. Let's make use of something a little bit dark. Adjust the shape, go to your styles, reduce the radius, the corner rounding, reduce the shape, the height of the shape a little bit, and then position it around here. Simple, you can see that. But then I want to create that effect. I want to try and create the effect. I want to delete that shape. Let me just undo. I want to delete the shape. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do now is to scroll to the other side. Now we'll change the background color for this particular one to white. Then bring in the shape. We are going to bring in a shape. So let's tap on plus. Now the shape we want to use is a shape with the curved edges. Then we'll change the color to something like a black color, a deep. We are going to change the color to something like this. Then adjust it to this. We are trying to create that particular effect that was used on the shape. Yeah, I think this is enough. So go to your styles and work on the corner rounding. Let's check this out. Let's check it. I think the corner rounding is still too much. So click on styles and reduce the corner rounding to like 20. Yeah, I think this is still too much for me. I'll just leave it at 10. I think 10 will be a good number. We don't want it to have too much curved edges. Yeah, this is perfect. So the next thing we're going to do is to bring in a gradient effect. So tap on plus, go to your element and search for gradients. Just go to elements and search for gradients. Alright, as you can see, it is showing me different kind of graphics gradients right here. It is showing me different kind of gradients right here. So please note, that's why I said if you are not using the Canva Pro, you can just bring in any effects. So the gradient I would like to use here is this particular one right here. And as you can see, it's having Edu. Now, if you are not using the Canva Pro, you will not be having access to this kind of gradient effect. I hope you understand. You will not be having access to this kind of gradient effect. So you can tap on it. You can see we have been able to bring in this gradient effect. Now we are going to reduce the size. As I've said earlier, if you need the Canva Pro, check the description box below. I will drop a link there that will guide you through on how you can get the Canva Pro. So I adjust the shape, rotate it to this kind of size. I think it is enough. Alright, so we'll go to our transparency and reduce the transparency. We don't want it to be too much. So let's check it out. You can see we are trying to create something, though it's not going to be perfect as that of Pixel Lab, but then we will still be able to create something with this. So you can take your time to move it and adjust till it fits into your taste. I still feel like reducing the transparency, so I will tap on it and go to transparency. Then reduce the transparency to like 20. Yeah, I think we can still work with this, but then if you feel like adjusting it more, you can keep on adjusting till you get what you want. All right, so the next thing we're going to do now is to save this particular image, to save this particular shape this way. Now, if you are using the Canva Pro, you can easily remove background directly from your Canva. You can see it is going to save both the first project and the second one as well. You can see 2 pictures were saved. Now we'll go back to this second one here. Now the next thing we're going to do is to tap on plus. This time we're going to our gallery to import that particular shape we just saved. It should be under my recents. Alright, you can see this is the shape. Then I'll click on add to page. Alright, so now the next thing we are going to do is to go to effects. Click on effects and want to remove the background. So click on BG remover to remove the background of that particular shape. Alright, as you can see, we are now left with the shape alone. So we are going to increase the size. Okay, I would like to crop this out. Actually, I would like to crop the shape. I would like to crop it so that it's not going to be disturbing me. So you can crop it out after removing the background. Then increase the size. And make sure you position it at the middle as well. You can see that. Then you can use your nudge button to position it to be at the middle. I think this is okay. So I'll just go to my nudge button to position it perfectly. Yeah, this is actually okay. Now the next thing we are going to do is to duplicate this particular 3 nights off. So you can tap on any layer. After tapping on any layer, click on, just scroll and look for layers right here. Now you can scroll to click on the 3 nights off, then duplicate the text. Now after duplicating the text, bring it on top of that particular shape we just brought in. Now edit it and input and worship. You can see that. So increase the size. You can see we have been able to create the theme of the program, 3 nights of praise and worship. So I feel like adjusting this particular shape is too big. So I'll work on the shape again. I would like to work on the shape again. So let me just go to my layers and delete this particular shape. I'm going to delete it. It is too big. It's still the same thing. We just need to adjust it in such a way that the width will not be too much. So please, when you're working on yours as well, make sure your height, the height is not too much. The height of your shape, don't let it be too much in case of when you are increasing it. I think this is actually okay. Yeah, I think this is perfect. So the next thing I'm going to do is to save it. Click on save. Now it's going to save both the first image and the shape we just created. Alright, so the next thing we are going to do is to go back to our design and import that shape and repeat the process like we did in the first place. Alright, so I'll add it to page. Then I'll go to my effects, reduce the size, then click on effects and remove the background. Click on BG remover to remove the background. Alright, as you can see, then I'm going to crop it out. I'm going to crop it out like the first. Then increase the size. Alright, so just scroll to your nudge. Yeah, I think this is actually okay. Then we want to bring in the text we copied the other time and position it on top and reduce the size as well. We don't want it to be too big. So if you are finding it hard to move, always go to your nudge button. Whenever you are finding it hard to move your text, go to your nudge button. Yeah, I think this is actually okay. Now, as you can see, we have been able to work on our theme, 3 nights of praise and worship. Now, the next thing we are going to do is to duplicate this particular worship text itself. Duplicate it, edit it, and input program. The program starts time. So I'm just going to use a program starts by 8:00. Sorry. 8:00 to 10:00 p.m. 8:00 p.m. to 10:00 p.m. So we are going to reduce the size. Adjust this. Keep on reducing the size. Yeah, I think this is okay. This is okay. But then I'll just go to my nudge button to position. Alright, so next we are going to bring in a shape with a curved edge. Tap on plus, go to your element, then bring in a shape. Click on element again. So bring in a shape. Make sure it is a white color. The color should be a white color. Alright. Let's position it. So make sure you adjust the shape. Go to edit, go to the style to edit the shape. Want to increase, reduce the corner rounding a little bit. Alright, I think this is okay. Now duplicate that shape and make sure you position it on top of each other like this. This time around, go to style. Now the corner rounding should be at 0. We don't want any corner rounding here. You can see that we don't want any corner rounding, so just reduce it to 0. Then do this. So let's check it out. Now we want to bring this up a little. You can see what we are trying to create there. So we can reduce the height of this one a little bit. What we are simply trying to create is this type of shape. You can see how we created it. The downside is having a corner rounding and the upper side is not having a rounded corner. So tap on any of the shape. If anything like this should happen, I have said it earlier, just tap on the undo button. Alright, So click on select multiple, go to more and select multiple. Okay, you can see I'm finding it hard. Okay, I've been able to select it. Now if you are finding it hard, you can always go to your layer to select from there. I'm going to click on group so that they will be merged together. Then you'll be able to move them together. It will become just one shape. It will become just one shape after grouping them. So I will go to my position, the nudge, to bring it downward a little. I feel like increasing the size just a little bit. Yeah, I think this is perfect. This is perfect. Yeah, this is okay. Now the next thing we are going to do is to bring in a line. Tap on plus. Click on, you can see lines and shape. We want to bring in a line. Then we'll bring it here. Turn it this way, because we want it to be at the middle. So we are going to change the color to the same yellow color we have been using so far. So click on lines. We want to reduce the weight of the line. We want to reduce it to like 2 or 1, as tiny as possible. Yeah, I think 2 is okay, but then if you can make use of 1, you can do that. I think this is okay for me. Yeah, so as you can see, our design is already taking shape. So the next thing we are going to do now is to bring in a text. So let's just duplicate this particular text, because we want to make sure we are using almost the same fonts for our designs. So we are going to color, then change it to a black color. All right, so edit your text. Click on edit. Click on edit. Now after clicking on edit, clear it up and input the want to use the location. So I'll just use at the Apostolic Church, Nigeria. I think this is perfect. Then I will reduce the size a little and position it here. You can see that. So position it around here. Now duplicate this. Make sure they are on the same line. Please make sure you duplicate it so that you will have the same size. Because we don't want the both to be the size. You can see that. Make sure you're showing you those lines as well. Now edit the text. This time around we want to input the dates. I think I used 24th April 2023. Then the end date is going to be 26th April 2023. All right, as you can see, since the program is 3 nights of praise and worship, the date should also be 3 days. You can see those lines. Make sure it is showing you those lines as well. Now this is actually perfect. I feel like bringing them in a little, so I'll just bring this in a little. Tap on this as well, bring it in a little. Yeah, I think this is okay. Now the next thing we are going to do is to duplicate this particular program text, position it here. Now edit it and input for inquiries. Contact for inquiries. Contact. All right. Yeah, make sure you position it at the middle as well. Then bring it down a little. Duplicate the text again and input the phone number. Just duplicate the text again and input the phone number you would love to use. I will just use my phone number here. The country code, space, and my phone number. Alright. Then I'll reduce the size a little bit. And make sure it is positioned in the middle as well. I want it to also be positioned at the middle. Alright, as you can see, our design has already taken shape, and this is really beautiful. Even as a beginner, this should be very easy for you to replicate. Alright, the next thing we are going to do now is to give it a little bit of texture. So just tap on plus. Now we are going to our gallery. Then I'm going to import the texture I need. I think it should be in my recents. Then I'll click on add to page. Now, as I've said earlier, all the resources you are going to need for this design will be provided for you in the description box. So you can check it out in the description box to get this texture effect as well. So I'll just go to position. I'll go to my position to position it to front. Then click on to front. Then I will increase the size to fill up the workspace. You can see that. So just increase the size to fill up the workspace. I feel like increasing it more. Just position it here like this. As you can see, you can just increase the size more if you feel like you don't want it to be too dark. Now go to your transparency to reduce the transparency. Reduce the transparency. I think 15 is okay. 15 is a good number. Now let's check this out. Now when something like this happens, remember I told you can just click on undo. Yeah, this is perfect. As you can see, this is really beautiful. Alright, so thank you for sticking around with me to the end of this tutorial video. Alright, if you are yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, please kindly subscribe, click the like button, and also do well to turn on the notification icon. I would also like to know what you think about this tutorial video. If it was helpful or not helpful, let me know in the comment section below. See you on the next one.